Hello, Rex, new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a legend team from Pedoman who actually got to legend with us, I think, also last season. So congrats to them. We have the main core there, of course, of Trevenant, as well as the Warrain in the Open Ultra League. A very strong core here. I think they're in the normal Warrain. I only have the Shadow one build, so I'm going to use the Shadow version here. We're going to have also Cresselia on the team, an old favorite Pokemon for the Ultra League in general. But actually, I find it interesting that he hit legend with that. Of course, he is a very strong player, don't get me wrong, like he is a very good player. He hit, I think, even in the regionals in Liverpool earlier this year, I think he even got the second place, so big congrats to him. I think he's already now qualified for the World Championships in Japan, where I missed out on, basically on one team core, which kind of sucks, but still fine. But this team is actually interesting. I wonder really how this works. I actually thought that he might want to run the move, what's called the future side on the Cresselia, but I think if the Spanish auto translation is correct under, like, from Google, the moveset that they are running here is the same that I'm running with Moonblast and Grassnot. I don't really want to get rid of my Grassnot here anyway. But, yeah, this team actually has some kind of core weaknesses. For example, Charizard is pretty difficult to deal with because both your Trevenant as well as your Cresselia is kind of awkward, as well as the Pokemon in the back that we have here, the Warrain, going to be also still not the best Pokemon against the Charizard. Otherwise, you're going to also struggle against something like Scrafty as well as Obstagoon, which at least I encountered the Edo I'm right now after tanking before the Go Battle Day on purpose, here 2500 around this range. Like, I see a lot of Obstagoon, I see a lot of Scrafties, I see a lot of Charizards, I see all those Pokemon that I don't really want to face. Here we actually have a very decent matchup against the Tapu Fini. You actually still kind of want to shield here because the Moonblast still hurts you a ton. And as we see already that we will be able to get a shield against the lead anyway with Shadow Ball, I can just go ahead and farm up a ton of energy here. That's totally fine, especially as they didn't bait me. But yeah, we're going to have a great time with the Trevenant having the Seed Bomb already ready for the opponent. We can go for one Shadow Ball, and if they don't throw immediately, we can even go for another one, forcing another shield from the opponent. But they're going to throw perfectly here, very nice from the opponent. But Dragonite basically has nowhere to go, and this Lantern also has nowhere to go, as we're going to have a Grassnot on our Cresselia in order to knock them out here. Nothing they can do about it. But yeah, I feel like there are a lot of Pokemon that this team doesn't really want to face, which are a little bit tricky. Still, I'm going to have some matchups here as well against Obstagoon and Scrafty that I was able to win. Yeah, for example, in Obstagoon, I don't know if we're going to be able to win this one though. But you can still kind of... Oh, that's a horrible matchup. Look at this. We see a Trevenant coming in. You can still kind of deal with it just because of basically the Pokemon that we're using here right now are those Pokemon that are insanely overpowered in this meta. Like, it doesn't even really matter if you have the worst matchups, even against an Obstagoon. Your Trevenant's still going to hurt them pretty easily, like pretty decently with the Seed Bomb there, which is weird, but it's how Trevenant works. Because counter is double resisted, you don't really do damage with the fast moves against it. So that should be even here kind of okay-ish for us to deal with it, as long as they don't go for the boost here. Like, if they don't get the boost, it's fine. Yeah, that's kind of always the thing that you love in Go Battle League. Immediately first night slash the opponent gets the boost, and it's actually more important than you might expect, because now basically with the boost I feel like it means that counter is now neutral instead of double resisted, because you have like the double attack stage boosted here, and at least it does like kind of the damage of it. I think it's actually still lower than if it was neutral, to be fair, I think, the damage, but yeah, still it does now way more damage than before. We will see that Seed Bomb not going to knock them out, and we're also not going to be able to farm down here. So yeah, that is basically a good game there as well with the Warrain there in the back. I'm just going to let them farm me down. There's not a lot that I can do about this one. But maybe we're going to be able to encounter another one in the next game here. I have no idea. Warrain against Nidoqueen, very decent lead for us. Let's see what they're going to have in the back. Usually Nidoqueen runs double dark in the back. And we're going to see a Warrain which is going to catch our charge move here, which was a smart move by the opponent. Interesting. I don't know, maybe it was also a little bit of my mistake there of throwing there already. But I will be able to go ahead and go for one Grassnot now against the opponent. And they are in range where I can go for just two Grassnots here to knock out the opponent's Warrain, which is going to be nice. They go for the Earthquake, they can go for another one if they want to, but I'm going to be able to go for my charge move before they're going to be able to reach the next charge move for themselves. Nidoqueen is coming in, Grassnot is the better move to throw against it, of course, and we will be able to get them pretty low, and we're gonna actually be able to still survive one charge move here, I think. Cresselia is so bulky in this meta right now, as you're going to see here. We can go for another Grassnot, forcing maybe even a shield. Let's take a look at this. No, they're going to swap out into a Ninetales. I was hoping it was Charm because more people run Charm in the Ultra League meta, I feel like, but it is the Powder Snow version, which is a little bit more tricky to deal with for me, as now you're going to be having basically the opponent outspeeding me the entire time. I can go ahead and go for some Seed Bomb damage, which might help us out here. Let's see, Seed Bomb coming through here now. It's going to do around like 30%, I think, and they're going to let this move go through as well. Putting them into range where I can farm them down with my Wall Rain. They cannot get to another charge move here either. And now it's just a Nidoqueen against me. And you know what? We can also catch a charge move here. The Earth Power is coming into our, what's called our Cresselia there with like only a few HP left, which is amazing. And we're going to be able to win this game here as well. Next up, who's coming in here, we're going to see the Warren against Ampharos. This is going to be an awkward matchup, and Ampharos in general for this team is super difficult to deal with as well. Ampharos has access to the move Brutal Swing right now, meaning it has a good coverage move against my lead there, which is going to be, of course, weak to the electric typing. It has coverage for both my Pokemon in the back there with the Cresselia as well as the Trevenant, which is going to be a little tricky, so not really sure what I really think about this one. Also, I don't know if he is running the Cresselia or the Trevenant as a save swap. I'm running here the Cresselia as a save swap, which I think it also kind of depends on in which situation you are, like what you're going to encounter in the lead. That might depend on what Pokemon you want to swap into. We're going to encounter now the Ampharos going for one charge move. You're going to be Thunder Punch. Smart decision by them to go for that one, but I can go straight for the Earthquake. Are they going to call that? They are not calling it, and we're going to have to rely now on our Trevenant. Is Trevenant strong enough to sweep an entire team? This is something we're going to find out very, very shortly, as we're going to be able to perfectly throw our charge move onto their charge move. As we win CMP here, we can knock out the opponent's Ampharos and the Trevenant as well. And we see now the Cresselia coming in. And this is going to be a very good game there. So our Trevenant is going to town here right now. There's not a lot that they can do about this one. Even a Future Sight should knock me out here. It's going to be a Moonblast, and we can just go ahead and go for another Shadow Ball. And say goodbye to the Moonduck on the opponent's side here, the Cresselia. Bye there. Next opponent coming in, we're going to take a look at this one as well. We see the Walrein, we see the Galvantula, we see a horrific matchup for us, and especially of course for this team here, because if you take a look at the Galvantula, you're going to see here that it's going to beat my Elite, it's going to beat also basically all the Pokemon on my team here, as the Bug typing plus Electric typing is giving very good coverage against both Cresselia as well as our Trevenant. Of course, we have to go into our Trevenant right now. We're hopefully going to be able to farm down in time, but I'm not sure if the opponent going to swap out here. No, they are not. They're going to let this go through. And we see another Ampharos coming in. I should have stayed in hindsight here, to be fair. I think I should have just went for one Shadow Ball. Did some damage there, put them into range where I can just go for one Grass and knock them out. Like this, it's going to be a little bit more tricky as the opponent going to get very good damage against me. As you see now, the opponent's Trevenant coming in. It's going to be an interesting one. Can we still win this one? This is going to be only a Seed Bomb from the opponent here. We can still go for one Moonblast. Don't know if this is a smart decision by me, but we're going to get the debuff here from the Moonblast. 10% chance to debuff the opponent's attack. Gives them more farm though, so I don't even know if it really helped me. They're going to let this move go through. I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb here. Please shield this move up. Please. Of course they are not. I'm going to be able to at least knock them out here with a one more fast move, which is nice, as they try to go for their charge move to knock me out. We can go for one Seed Bomb here. It's still going to be close. Are they already at 2 moves? We will find out. We can shield this one up. I think we're going to be able to win CMP against this one as well. And we do, and this should seal the deal. Goodbye, opponent. Goodbye, Ampharos. Trevenant going to town here. Trevenant definitely, for me, the MVP of this team. Very good Pokemon. Interesting matchup as well against the opponent here with Scrafty. At this point of time, I already know that they're going to have the Obstagoon in the back. Like, that's currently a common team that people use. Actually interesting that they use Scrafty as a save swap. I feel that is a little bit weird, because if you would use Obstagoon as a save swap, you would be able to have some coverage moves for potential Fairy-type Pokemon like the Tapu Fini with the Gang Shot there. So interesting enough that they're going to run the Scrafty here, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I find that at least Obstagoon is the better save swap. You see me here swapping immediately, as I expected them to have Obstagoon in the back, and I want to get some energy lead here, which will allow me in like the long run to do a lot more damage to the opponent. as they don't do really damage with their fast move alone. I will be able to just spam those seed bombs against them. Going to do some decent damage against them as well, as we're going to see here that they're already around half of their health. I can go for another seed bomb. They're going to get some extra energy here, but I will be able to hit another one now afterwards and just forcing the shields from the opponent, which is going to be amazing. As you can see here now, Night Slash coming through. I can go for, never mind, they're going to swap out and I can catch the move onto our Walrein here, which will be amazing as it's going to be a Scald, but it's still going to be a very difficult match here. I went for my charge move here too early, but I don't think my opponent does know this, and they didn't know this one, as we can now go ahead and shield this move up, which is going to be a Blizzard. Why would you ever do that? Blizzard is, I think, double resisted here. Ice is the only, Ice is the only move that Ice type Pokemon also resist. Like, Ice only has one resistance, which is to itself, which is weird. But now we are going to have the Obstagoon here coming in. We're going to be able to catch the move onto our Cresselia. It's going to be a Night Slash. We're going to be able to go for one Grass Knot here. This is going to be such a close matchup. Let's take a look. Can we actually still win this game here? We're going to be able to get some damage still with the Psycho Cut, and the Shadow Ball is coming through here right now. Let's take a look. Is it enough? It is enough to still win this game. For whatever reason, my opponent decided to go for a Blizzard there. I will never know, I will never understand. This is wired. You see me here misplaying this one. I'm going to shield the first one, but it's not really a misplay, to be fair. If I would be the Lone Muck, I would just go straight for the Dark Pulse. Like, you either get a ton of damage against the opponent and farm down afterwards, or you get the shield from the opponent. As it's very so risky here, that really worked out well for the opponent. Now I'm going to lose his lead matchup with a shield disadvantage as well, but I can't give up 2 shields here just to realign. It's not really the best move right now. I'm going to swap into my Cresselia, and yeah, I'm just going to forfeit there. That was just a hard ball at the end there. There was actually also nothing really that could have done otherwise, I think, either. So yeah. Horrific matchup here again for us, as we're going to have to go into our Cresselia and go for some Grass Knots against the opponent's Jellicent here. That is not really looking too good here as well. They're gonna go for one Shadow Ball. I feel like I might be able to win this in a 2-shield scenario just because I'm going to generate energy faster, and the Grass Knot going to do some decent damage here while taking less energy than a Shadow Ball. But sadly, it's literally just in the range where 2 Grass Knots plus fast move damage won't ever be enough to knock them out. I'm still going to be able to get another shield here, and I will be able to catch the move here, I thought, but no, we're going to get out the Cobalion. Cobalion going to be a little bit of a tricky one as well here, as they're going to go for the Sacred Sword. I should bait here, but I actually didn't go for the bait. I don't know why. I literally thought at the moment, I remember that as well, that I really wanted to go for the bait there. It doesn't matter though, because I wouldn't have got to the next charge move anyway, so like, I'm not going to cry about that too much here right now, but there was just a misclick by me. But yeah, I will be able to go ahead and go for one Shadow Ball against the opponent here at least, which will do some decent damage, not enough though, and I can at least catch the move now onto my Cresselia. But this is not really looking good. I expect them to swap out here, and they do swap out. Calling the Jellicent coming in here again. They had a move stored, it doesn't really help them too much, but it's still a Charm A9 against us, and we even get the fast move through there. I feel it's already like really awkward to try to time against a 3-turn fast move like Charm, or also Rollout. Rollout is also a weird animation for me to like time out my fast move against it. Like, if they don't reset it and I can count from the beginning, it's always a little bit awkward. So like, if they swap in, for example, they might be on the same turn as you are, they might be a turn late, you don't really know, and you cannot really tell by the animation either, so it's at least for me a little bit awkward. Speaking of a little bit awkward, this might be also a little bit of an awkward matchup here. We're going to have the Cresselias going up against each other. It might be already the final game because we have only 1.5 minutes left. Gameplay is sped up by 2.1, and we have a Cresselia mirror here, which usually takes 10 years. So we will be able to get up to 100 energy with our Cresselia, and we're going to swap out now into our Trevenant, trying to get some fast move damage against them already. They're going to throw again another charge move here. It's going to be the Moonblast as well. They're going to be completely energy dry at this point of time. I should remember that, but I don't think I did remember that. But I will be able to take a charge move from the opponent here with my shield, and I can go for my own charge move with Seed Bomb here coming through, and I can shield up another one as well. We are basically taking down the clock right now, as you're going to see on the right side. After this charge move, we're close to being able to swap out again, and we are now able to swap out, and I can snipe them with one Grass Knot coming in here. Is this enough to knock out the opponent? It is not. I have to go for another charge move here, which will not knock out the opponent, but I'm completely energy dry. They can farm me down, and they're gonna go ahead and go into their Cresselia. But this allows me, even though I'm super low, still to get a Grass Knot off here, which is amazing. And now it really depends on how we can play out this matchup here. It's going to be a Jellicent in the back. Can we actually still win this one? It's going to be such a close one for the end game. I can get to the Seed Bomb here, which is going to do some decent damage, and we have the Earthquake. Is this enough here? It is not enough, and they can go for the Shadow Ball, and this is going to be it for this video. They're going to be able to win this game now. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. On the right side, you most likely have the top teams for the Ultra League. On the left side, Myron or Shadow Shiny Tyranitar. If you want to watch one of those videos, feel free to it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!